starting broadcasting. And if there's a problem there, just raise your hand even, and we can see what the issue is. There are always going to be issues, right? So what we want to be able to do is what? Figure out document the issues, and then try to help each other and figure it out. So pass this sheet along. So we're going to do a quiz first.
So like,
that we have.
we were supposed to do uploads onto Blackboard. So it's just if you did them or not, yeah.
This will be not a bit old, right? So let's take that sheet here, hold on.
Can I have that pen back, do you mind?
One,
The pen.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thank you, you're fine.
Boy, there's so much excitement in the room, huh? Like you do this every day, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 3. Everybody have one? Who does not have one? Who does not have a blue sheet? Everybody have a blue sheet? Okay, everybody has a blue sheet. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do this is quiz. Let's see if this is working. This is quiz 1. If you don't do this well, what can I say? I don't want to be mean, but okay. So what you're going to do, you're going to take this piece of paper like this. Everybody do it with me. Okay? And we're going to pretend like in the old days that we're going to then fold it into thirds. Like this. Everybody with me? Fold it into thirds this way. Not this way, but this way. And then I'm going to start off first. And what I'm going to do in large letters, I'm going to put the name, my name, and I'll put it right in front of me. This way I'll put it right here that you can see it. I'll even put it right here that you can see it in front. And what are we going to use? We're going to use it for that people from the front can see your name and people from the back can see your name. Okay? Some of you were already running for the door, right? So one of the things here, what I want you to do is, but I don't want you to do it with a pencil, right? What I want you to do is with a strong marker. So I'm going to pass
Can I borrow that?
Manal. I'm going to pass this to Manal first, and she's going to use the marker, and everybody's going to pass the marker so I can see and everyone can see. Now, last time that we were here, one of the things that we were talking about is how many bad days do you have in this class? Anybody remember? How many remember? One. This is a class participation class. What do I expect? That you be prepared for the class. You may not know all the answers, but you're prepared for the class, and you will be called on. But everybody once in a while has a bad day. I'm not going to be. So the day that you don't want to be called on, what you can do is you can put your name tag down. And that means that I won't pick on you. What I suggest you do, days get worse along the way, right? So I suggest that you don't use it this time. Now what I want from Manal, like we said before, is we want it both ways. She has it on this side. What is she missing? She wants to put it on this side too. So not only can I see Manal, but everybody behind her and say, God, this woman is really smart. I want to be able to connect with her after the class to be able to see what she's going to be doing here. And she can, and possibly we can help each other. So one of the things here is Manal wants to have it on both ways, okay? So that's the first thing. You bring this to class, and this way we have it, we get to know each other. All right. So today is Wednesday, the 23rd. And what I'm going to be doing here is I have my computer here. As we talked about, I'm doing a lot of technology here, and I'm trying it out. And I'm going to try to record the classes and see, in this case, a lot of times we'll have guest speakers that can come into the class through this way, and people that want to review or weren't able to be here in class can also review, and we can see what are the issues here of a way in which we're doing video conferencing. I'm going to do one video conferencing, and what did I want you to do? In order to be able to collaborate, you should be doing video conferencing as well. So let me start with my video conferencing. So I'm going to go to YouTube. And in YouTube, I'm going to go to Creator Studio. And within Creator Studio, under this live streaming, and Cindy, will you be, is this broadcasting live?
Yes.
Okay, in this case, so one of the things here, if you can see it, and then behind you, if you can see it, if it shuts off, let me know, because then other people are going to be trying to see this, and they won't be able to see it. And in this case, I have something that I set up already of 123, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., and what am I using? What video conferencing system am I using?
Google Hangout.
Google Hangouts on Air. There's a Google Hangouts and there's a Google Hangouts on Air. What do you think the difference is? Raise your hand. Yes. What is your name? What?
Dan.
Yeah. What?
I'm Dan, but
Dan.
I'm guessing on air is live.
Yeah. It's going to be broadcasting, then live broadcasting. By the way, did you check out Ninja Trader? Did you do Ninja Trader at all? You haven't checked that out yet? Okay. So let's do this. So I'm going to go in here, start Google Hangouts on Air. Now, one of the things that I talked about last time is this is a different class in which I use this class in a different way than maybe traditional education is. I'm trying to, part of my research is trying to disrupt education. It shouldn't be that I'm here, you're there, you're static, you just listen, and I do all the work. It should be a collaborative effort, just like the world is collaborative in this case. So one of the things that I do is I do mistakes, stating it right up front. And one of the things that I expect from you is when you find mistakes that I do, is to raise your hand and say, hey, wait a minute, you forgot to start broadcast. I do that sometimes. You know, I'm getting involved. So one of the things I should do right now is doing what? Start broadcast. So when one of the things I want to do is start broadcast, I say, okay. And at this point, I can share my screen. Now, one of the things we got to figure out is, how do I know it's really broadcasting? Because on my end, I have to start the broadcast, right? The other part is, what else? I'm using Google Hangouts on Air, and what else? YouTube. Who owns YouTube? Google, right? So what happens here, this basically is not residing on my machine. Where is it residing? That streaming is going to be residing where? Pardon?
Google Cloud Studio.
Somewhere in Google's cloud and Google's server, right? So there could be a problem with Google, there could be a problem with YouTube, there could be a problem with the internet, it could be a problem here at the university, right, that we're using their bandwidth. So I don't know. So one of the things that we'll learn in technology is what we always have to check, recheck, and check. And if anybody tells you about new technology, there's no problem. I can tell you two things. This is my philosophy. Either they're lying to you or they don't know what they're talking about. Because there's always going to be issues, there's always going to be problems with new technology. The idea is, how do we address it? And how do we basically find out what to do? So, I am starting the broadcast, and I want to share my screen. And what else do you have to remind me? Am I mic'd? No. So there's a couple of things that you guys got to remind me of. Basically doing what? Start the broadcast, and also, are you mic'd? Also, you can hear my voice. My voice, basically, you'll see that I get laryngitis. Why? I talk a lot, right? And after a while it is. So we got to make sure that I am mic'd, and we have problems. Right? So I need basically people that are in audio, right, to help me. Basically, we need to do it. And I'm doing this as experimental. Can you imagine a regular professor doing all this crap? You know, they say, hey, forget it. I like to come to my class with my little notebook, right, and give the same lecture over and over again, and that's it. So I'm trying to basically try this as eating my own dog food, and you're going to eat it with me, right, and trying this out. So one of the things here, we got the mic going. I set this up, and now I have to figure out, is it really broadcasting? Everybody understand what my question is? What's my question before we can even answer it? So what's my question? And your name is?
Tyler,
Yeah, Tyler. What's my question?
how do you know you're broadcasting?
How do I know I'm broadcasting? Good. How do I know? Anybody remember? How do I figure that out?
You could check the link.
I could check the link, right? I have two ways to check the link. One way to check the link is right here, right? That it's going to tell me that I have a link here. And what else? I'm going to start here. What else? Here I want to share my screen. Right? I'm going to share my link. So I have a link here, which is youtube.be. And we have this link. Where else can you check the link? Anybody remember? Anybody remember my telephone number?
The Psycho.
The Psycho, right? So in this case here, what we can do is we can go to what? Steemit.com, STEEMIT.com/@the-psycho. That's also my phone number, remember? Right? So we can go there, and what are we going to look for? Today's date. Is this today? Does this look like our class? And so what should we do? Who can help me? Click here. Let's see what happens. Click it here. And it should be, this is the link here, and it should be here. So you can go in even. What I suggest you do, this way you can make sure, so for Gina, for instance, in the beginning of the class, you can go there and see, you can use like a headphone, right, in terms of that, and we can see, is this working? In terms of that, and we can see, is this working? What's that delay? It's a bit of a delay there. This is in the, are they participating or are they just viewing?
Viewing.
Just viewing it. How many people can view this? Right, so we could have millions, theoretically, we could have millions join our class and view the class. And part of my research is looking at disrupting it. It may be that we have people in the class, and then we can have other people join our class from around the world, and they can even be, in this case, they don't even have to sign up. They can just view it, and then if they like it, then basically we can then put it on, we can give them like quizzes and see if they like it, and if they like it, then they can register to the class, and then they could even stay throughout the semester, and only when they wanted academic credit, they could do it. And those people within the class basically monitoring, for instance, like James today and Cindy is doing it, we're thinking about putting it on blockchain. We could put it as part of what we call a token, and those people would get contributions. They could get tokens basically in a way they could get paid for participating in the class. And other people in the class may be monitoring. If it was such an exciting class and we had thousands of people there being on the chat and so forth, we could have it. And we could actually do participation. So these are types of things that I'm trying to do, and we see that it is broadcasting. So that's one good one. And then we have something here, just so you know, this is a long URL, you'll see, and that's for people to participate. Up to 10 people can participate at a time using Google Hangouts on air, where they can be actual live speakers. Okay, any questions about that? So we got kind of the basics down. Once everybody was here, we had the basics down. So now I'm going to go to courses, or Blackboard, what we call it. And I'm going to log in with my Kane ID. And in my Kane ID, I'm going to sign in. And it says right here, courses where you're an instructor. That's me, I'm the instructor, and we know that in information systems we have different roles. And we talked about last time something called the need to know. And what does that mean? Roles in information systems, you can put this in your note. Roles in information systems should be controlled by the need to know. Roles in information systems need to be controlled by the need to know. What does that mean? Yeah.
It could mean that information should only be shared for specific people, specific information for people who...
Based on your task, based on where you are in an organization, you would have roles to do your job. So for instance, my job, for instance, is to teach this class, right? So I need to know, what are your test scores? In which class?
This one.
Only in this one. How many are taking other classes than this lovely class? Raise your hand, right? Do I need to know your grades in your other class to do my job? No. Should I have access to your grades in your other classes? No. Should I even have access to your transcript? No. I'm not your advisor, right? I'm not deciding in admissions. I only need to know. Sometimes I may need to know your schedule, right? If I want to do an additional course or additional time to do it. But I have that need to know. So my need to know in BTE KY, I am the instructor. What are you? Student. And there's another section where what?
Teaching assistant.
You're teaching assistants. And why didn't I make you the instructor? Any idea? Because teaching assistant, you say, hey, you know, I'm good enough. James here is already going. Yes?
Because we don't need to know what you need to know.
I have a little bit more authority, meaning that you can't delete me. But you can delete all your other teaching assistants, right? And I could delete you. So the idea here, you're still going to get all the rights that I have in that audit area, but I put one below that I don't want to be locked out of my own course, right? That in that case. So you have to make those understandings when you're doing security, when you're doing computer security. Okay, everybody with me so far? So let's do this. How many new people do I have in the class? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else? Raise your hand high. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you decide you're new?
No, I was raising my hand.
5, 6. Okay, 7. So one of the things is we're going to need to do groups, and what we basically have is we can have our new people, and you've already joined a group. We can have people join groups, or even among those that are here. I'm going to go through the material, the first part of the class, from the books and from our readings, and give you a homework assignment. The second part of the class, I'll look at your group work that you did last week, give you feedback, and we called that agile development. Everybody remember that? Those of you that were here with me, it was called agile development. Anybody remember what that was? And what did we say we want to do? We always want to bring what? Our laptops to class, if we can. We also have it, and what do we want to know? If we don't know a concept here, what should we do? Look it up, right? So your idea, where's my marker going? Where is it? Okay, so we're moving on with it? Okay. Do we have you have your name tags? So put your name tags in front that I can see it. You don't want to hide it. Okay, so what is agile development? Did you find it, Cindy? Let's have somebody. What did we find? Agile development. Kate, did you find it? Agile development.
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you find?
It's an approach to software development under which requirements and solutions evolve through the collaborative effort of self-organizing and cross-functional teams and customers and users.
Okay. Then now we got to figure out what that means in English, right? Teams, collaboration, right? So I'm going to have teams and I'm going to have collaboration. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to do small tasks and get feedback as we do our tasks. So as we do our homeworks, for instance, James, what we're going to be able to do is I gave one assignment 1 week, and in this time, because we had the holiday, we had 2 weeks, which was a little bit more difficult, is that we want to give feedback and see, is this, you can think about it as I'm like the customer or the end user, and did you get it right when I tried to say this is what I want? And usually first time around, Kate, do you think you get it 100% correct? No. It's just in life, you know, when you have discussions with people, right? We have to work it through when we're trying to do a project. So we know we're not going to get it right immediately, but what we're going to do is we're going to do short intervals, make sure everyone in our group understands what the task is, give everybody a specific task to do, and the following time we see them in a short period of time, check to see if it works. That's what agile development is. And we're going to do projects in this class, and instead of waiting to the end of the semester, we're going to go along each week and get feedback on it. And that's how we can do in terms of technology. Okay? So, in that being the case, I'm going to first go to our generic course. That you are the student, I am the instructor. So where do I go? Which course, which section do I go to?
KY. No.
KY, BTE, KY. The group should be BTE audit because you're going to basically audit your work. And I'm going to audit. Everybody's going to audit each other's work. So I'm going to go to KY. And there should be a couple of things. Everybody that was here, right? We saw the course syllabus that we had, right? That we downloaded. We downloaded the course syllabus and we talked about the course syllabus that you could see. People were asking me all along, what type of book should I get? I like hard copy. Somebody else said I like online. Somebody else said I like it to download on my computer. And my answer is, I don't care what format you use. You can use any format that you feel comfortable with. The best reading style. My own conjecture was, I'm cheap, so I like to get it the least amount of money I can. Some other people were asking me, anybody have the older edition or anything? Some people were trying older editions. And I was saying my contention on the older editions is just make sure that you check with someone else on the newer editions and just understand what the differences are. Sometimes they add additional chapters and sometimes they add additional materials, but it's up to you. You can use anything that you would like. Okay? And besides that, there are quizzes online. it's under assignments. So those of you that are new, put a note there. You have to check each week for assignments, what's available under assignments. Up to now, these assignments, right now, I didn't put a due date on it. They're usually due the following week, but right now I'm still letting it be open because do you see what we have here? We have students coming in, we have students leaving. So in this case, if I set it up, then I would have to reset it. So right now it is. The quizzes, put a note to yourself as well. The quizzes basically are for you. I let you right now, how many attempts did you have up to now? 2 attempts. Was it closed book? No. Was it closed internet? No. Was it, you could check anytime you wanted. So this basically is for you in order to figure out, do I understand the material, and is there something that I need to come to class and either beforehand ask my group or ask other members, and if they don't understand and I've done the research, please, we'll ask it out loud and see it. There may be problems with the quiz questions. It may be, you know how it is, multiple choice or true, false, or whatever, you can read it. So if you find issues, basically I use the term extra credit in terms of I want you to be critical. I want you in terms of that to participate. So you should have done, and this one we're going to leave it open, of chapter 1 and TG1, which is the tech guide of hardware, we're open. For the next time, I want Tech Guide 2, which is software, to be available to you. So what do I need to do? I basically need to not edit the test, but edit the test options. And the reason why I'm showing it to you, because you're going to be using it, a lot of things in your audit area. And what should I do here? I say it's Tech Guide 2 software. And what should I say? Open test, a new window. That's good. What should I change here?
Make available to students.
Make available to students. And at this point, I can make it, did I do it? And if I didn't do it, it's your responsibility to let me know, hey, you passed it and you didn't check the right one. We're basically, I'm looking at you as we're learning this together. It's almost like we're in this together. We're in this journey together to learn together, and the more that we can help each other, we don't have to go through rudimentary things. I don't have to basically go through every PowerPoint slide with you. Because what am I expecting? That you can read. What I don't expect is that you all understand everything. But basic stuff, why waste our time? Don't we love that? I mean, life is short and life is beautiful, so why waste our time on things that we all know? And that way I expect that this is not a slacker class. You know, because the University of Miami used to have that reputation, right, of, you know, suntan you and slackering and so forth. In this class, this is not the reputation. So we'll be able to do this as well. So in this case here, we have multiple attempts. And I'm going to give, either I give one attempt or not. Since we're in the beginning and it's for you, I'm going to give you 2 attempts. Okay, so you know that. And I'm going to do the last grade attempt will be graded. So hopefully, right, the second time around, right, you're going to do better than the first time. And you can see here I can display until, I can make time frames. Right now I don't want to make time frames because we want to be, we're going to be fluid in this case. I expect you to be able to do that, right? I'm able to see it, and we got the due date, show the test results. Hopefully it's after the submission, right, and what's submitted, and in this case, all at once, and I'm going to submit. So how do you know that it worked? You should be able to see it on your end. So that's what your responsibility. You see how this is collaborative, just like I'm talking about. Can you see it?
No.
So there's issues. Isn't that beautiful? It's like we rehearsed it, right? So what did I do wrong? And notice I must have done something or something. So what do I need to do? I have to edit the test options, right? Make the test available, right? Somebody didn't catch it, including myself, right? And now can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes. Isn't that beautiful? And then I could leave, we don't see each other for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, right, the quiz is there, and they say, and whose fault was it? It was our fault, right? But anyway, so we got that, so we know that is taken, we got the quiz. Okay. We're getting kind of the areas together of basically what are the backgrounds, how are we going to run this class, we got this together. So we know that we have assignments there. Course documents, in the regular teaching section, you have something called PPT, and what do you think that is? It's going to be my chapters, right? So I'm going to have chapter 1, right? I should be able to have my chapter 1 available to me, right? And I have chapter TG1, right? And I go back, and then I'm going to have my TG1 here, and then if I go back here, I know I have my chapter 1 here, and I'm going to open up this. You should be able to read through these PowerPoint slides as well. And what should you be able to do? In this case, when you're having those issues, we'll go over these issues for enabling. So I know I have my PowerPoints. Everybody okay with that? Where everything is, make sure we have it. We have another area, basically this area here. I know I have my course documents in my PowerPoints, I have my assignments and my quizzes, and then in my web links, I have a number of web links that I was talking about. The first one we talked about was the student resources for the book. The second one was comparing of screencasting software. We talked about that. And let's go to the very bottom. Okay, so next to the very bottom here, one of the things you see here, the free UM, NYT, and Wall Street Journal digital subscriptions. What I want you to do, if we click on that, the University of Miami provides us resources, and what I always say is, let's take advantage of all the resources they have. One of the resources they have for this semester is live web editions of the New York Times and Wall Street Journal now available. So what I'd like everyone to do is visit the link for next time if you haven't done it. Put this down in your notes then. Let's do this. Manal, do me a favor. Where's the marker? Where's the markers here? This is the last one. Are they numbered? Great. Yeah, who else needs to be signed up? Anyone else need signing here?
Sorry.
Good. So, Manal, can you do me a favor? Take the marker and let's put on this side, well, let me just do it here instead. Let me just do it on this side. Let's make this as homework, right? We know that we have to do, for next time, we know we at least have to do what? If you haven't, we needed to do the quizzes under assignments. Which ones should we have already done? We should have done what? Chapter 1, right? What else? TG1. And for next time, we need to do at least TG2. Listed as TG2A, right? And the other thing we know we need to subscribe. And how much does it cost? These two, Wall Street and New York Times. Kate, how much do they cost? Nada, right? So take advantage of it. It does cost if you want to be outside, after you read 10 articles, they start charging, they want to subscribe, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You only can get this if you have a Kane ID and password. So we want to subscribe to NYT, New York Times, and Wall Street Journal. And how do you find those? On the web links. Questions up to now? How are we doing, Kate? Okay, good. So we got those two. We can get the New York Times. We can see other ones, and you can see here. You also get Miami Herald if you want. We'll talk about some other things later on of what we can do of news banks. Okay, so we got that. The other thing I want to share with you, you see here, Women in Technology Summit Series, IT Expo, Dr. Sarah Rushenick, keynote luncheon address. And this is Women in Technology Summit Series, IT Expo. Dr. Sarah Rushenick will be delivering the keynote luncheon address and hosting panels on tech trends for 2019 on January 30th in the Fort Lauderdale Convention Center. Let Dr. Rushenick know if you would like to attend. Opportunities for students to network, attend an IT Expo. If you go to this link, you'll see this is the entire day, and they're giving a special rate for $95, and then they're saying what you get. What I'm telling you in the class, if you would like to go, let me know, and you will be my guest for how much, Kate? Free. So in this case, you can do this. Notice you'll see that I love what? Free. Okay? But notice when there's that these are some of the speakers that will include it, and yours truly will be there. There's also going to be, we'll be able to see her probably. She'll come in.